Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Conan and today we're going to be talking about the best diets out there. Now I want you guys to be completely honest with me here. Most diets absolutely suck. There are hundreds, if not thousands of different diets out there, all promising to make you look like a Greek god or Greek goddess if you just follow their magic formula, right? But here's the catch. Most diets are way too complicated. Some might require you to either count calories, measure every macro, right? Track your food like some OCD food scientist, while others may have you eliminate entire food groups. And for a lot of people who work busy jobs or have a life outside of fitness, this is just too complicated, right? This is just too much to think about. It's too much to worry about. So I need to bring a food skill with me everywhere I go. What is this nonsense, right? And I want to start by saying this. I followed every diet under the sun. I got into this when I was 14. Yes, I was 14 years old. I remember so vividly. This was like during recess in grade 9, where most people would be on their phone playing video games. I would be that weirdo in the back of the class on my phone. I wasn't that weird. I still had a phone. But instead of playing video games or going on social media, I would literally open up the MyFitnessPal app, which is a calorie tracking app, and I would literally try to log all my food for the day and almost like try to like gamify it and see which foods I could fit into my macros for that specific day. I was like, oh, can I have some pancakes after I come home from school? Or, oh, what if I add this banana on top of that? Or what if I add some peanut butter? Oh, no, that's going to make me outside of my fat goal for the day. So let me decrease that and fill the rest of my calories with some more carbs. But then, oh, I'm lacking a bit more protein. So I went through all of this, right? From the age of 14, I'm 24 now. So it's literally been a decade of me kind of like being in this game. So I've done a lot of it, essentially, right? And to be honest with you, when it comes to the food scale, weighing your food, a lot of people don't have time for that, right? So let me present to you something a bit different. You guys have probably heard something similar to this before, and I'm sure there's already a name for this. But I was like, you know what? Let me just like create my own kind of name for it because I have made some modifications to this specifically. So let me present to you what I call the simplest diet ever. Drum roll, please. This is an idiot-proof diet as well. It's so easy that even a 5-year-old could follow us. And the reason I know that is because if I can do it, so can you. I am no one special. I'm just a regular person doing regular things. And if someone like me can do it, then you 100% definitely can do it as well. And this diet is called the Barbarian diet. I know it's really cliche, but let me explain. So you're probably thinking to yourself, Conan, what on earth is the Barbarian diet? The Barbarian diet is about as bare bones as it gets, but that is exactly what makes it so super highly effective. This is not about eating like a rabbit and starving yourself on some miserable 800 calorie day food plan. You'll actually be eating good foods and a lot of real good food. Food that actually does something for your body. The foods we eat will be optimized to get lean, increase your energy levels, and increases your mental focus too. The rules are so simple that you could literally tattoo them on your forehead, on your forearm in only 5 minutes. So there are 3 key bullet points that I want you to keep in mind. Number 1, if it came from the ground, you can eat it. Number 2, if it had a face or if it would have had a face, if it would like grow up, for example, you can eat it too. And the last point here, if it is green or if it also came from the ground and has no face, do not eat it. That is it. Seriously, no fancy calculations here. No meal plans that look like algebra equations. Just these super simple rules. If you stick to them, watch your body fat drop faster than you've ever seen before. And really quickly, I want to touch on these points really quickly. So meaning if anything came from the ground, typically means like your fruits, vegetables, whole grains, right? And with the face situation, typically means any like real source of protein, right? Cows, beef, chicken, fish, eggs, but I'll go a bit more in depth on that a bit later on in this video. Now you're probably wondering, why would this diet work, or does this diet work even to begin with, right? I like this quote a lot. It's from Charles. If it grows out of the ground or if it swims, flies or runs, you can eat it. That's as bare bones as it gets. If you just keep that in mind for the rest of your life, you're going to be the healthiest that you could possibly be. And I know nowadays it's extremely difficult. It hasn't been easier, but it also hasn't been more difficult to get in shape, right? Because we are bombarded by fast food restaurants, candy bars. And what you guys got to keep in mind is that all these foods, yes, we have so much access to them, but they're also specifically designed and engineered by these food scientists to not only make them hyper palatable, which means making them super tasty, but even as nitty gritty as the texture that it has in your mouth, the consistency of the chewy, the crispiness, the softness, the way it just kind of like molds in your mouth is one of the things that also makes most of these junk foods, highly processed foods, super addicting to make you want even more of them, right? So you're probably thinking, sure, it's simple, but does this diet, the Barbarian diet, actually work? The answer is yes, and I want to explain to you why. So I've written out a couple reasons as to why, and the first, I would say, main reason is you're cutting out all the BS crap, right? By sticking to the Barbarian diet foods, you automatically eliminate a ton of the processed foods that I kind of just mentioned that are super hyper palatable from your diets, right? Which means no more chips, no more cookies, no more sugary cereals for breakfast, no more sodas, and no more energy drinks. These foods are just natural whole foods that your body can actually use for proper fuel, to actually make you feel like a human being, right? Wow, that's amazing. I'm already sold. Number 2, you're getting plenty of protein and fiber, which is arguably two of the main macronutrients that most people lack nowadays, especially in the American diet. The Barbarian diet is packed with a bunch of protein from the meat, fish, and eggs, and loaded with a ton of fiber from all the green vegetables. Protein keeps you nice and full and helps you build muscle, as it takes a bit longer for your body to fully break down and digest compared to carbs and fats, while the fiber keeps your digestive system running smoothly and prevents you from overeating. The third point here, and this is such a magical thing, which I didn't realize until later on in life, where a lot of people ask me like, hey, Conan, how do you stay so disciplined with your diet? Or how are you able to like literally have all these cookies in front of your face? Let's say I was at a party, for example, and not have the urge to at least like have a piece, right? And I never really get fazed by it anymore. And oftentimes I actually sat down one day, I was like, how am I able to do that, right? Because sometimes I just say like, oh, like whatever, I'm just a bit more disciplined or I have a bit more willpower, whatever. But that ultimately is not the case, like at all. Like I have the same amount of willpower and discipline as anyone else in this world. Most of the fittest people you see on the road do not have more willpower than you, do not have more discipline than you. But what they've actually done is they've trained their taste buds to actually like the foods that they eat on a daily basis. So eating a diet full of ultra processed foods tends to manipulate your taste buds to make you want even more of them, right? So doing something like the Barbarian diet actually retrains your taste buds to eat real foods to the point where you'll actually crave them. We crave the foods that we eat on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, if you're eating junk food, processed foods, guess what type of foods you're going to be craving more of? Those exact type of foods. Whereas if you mainly eat whole, natural, single ingredient foods that are part of the Barbarian diet, guess what? After the first couple of weeks of doing that, you're going to start craving these whole natural single ingredient foods, right? And that is just so amazing because knowing this information, we can almost just like manipulate our own taste buds and our own brain to literally crave healthy foods. How amazing is that? That is such a big hack. And yes, this will take some time to get used to, but once you kind of get through that beginner phase of kind of like getting used to these foods, I guarantee you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to come home from a late day at work, or you're going to wake up first thing in the morning feeling really hungry, and you're not going to revert to the sugary bowl of cereal or to the candy bar, but you're going to start craving eggs, oatmeal, or vegetables, fruits. Instead of having this sweet tooth where you want to have like a piece of chocolate or like a whatever type of candy there's nowadays, a Jolly Rancher or a Jelly Bean, you're going to start to now satisfy your sweet tooth with fruits. You're going to start to like savor like the juiciness, the sweetness of an apple, of an orange, the natural sugars found in these amazing fruits. I literally like to call this God's candy, nature's candy, right? I'm so passionate about this. Number 4, it's hard to overeat. Let's be real here. And like, let's literally be honest here. How many times have you binged on broccoli or overdosed on chicken breast? These foods on the Barbarian diet are so nutrient dense and filling that you're unlikely to overeat them. And if you did, you'd be serving yourself with a bunch of healthy food and not empty calories. When was the last time you binged on your diet? Let's say it was yesterday, last week, last month, whatever. What foods did you binge on? Did you binge on eating a salad, on eating a fruit bowl, on eating chicken breast? I highly doubt it. You probably binged on some type of processed food, whether it's ice cream, donuts, pizza, burgers, fries, right? Because like I said at the beginning of this video, these foods are designed to be highly addictive and to make you want even more of them, right? I know for a lot of people as well, one little scoop of ice cream will turn into the entire pint. One little Oreo cookie will turn into the entire sleeve of Oreos. So these foods also trigger you to want to eat even more, right? Whereas if you're done eating, let's say a chicken breast, for example, or like a chicken salad or an apple, it's not like you're going to be craving even more afterwards. You're going to be nice and satisfied due to the protein and fiber found in most of these foods in the Barbarian diet. And you can actually carry on with the rest of your day feeling energized, feeling good about yourself. Not even to mention the way you will feel after, the way your skin will look, your energy levels. Like your life will literally just like 10x by simply following this diet. And the last point here, it eliminates possible food sensitivities and allergens. This is something that I actually also kind of like realized when I started following this specific diet. So when you eat only what is essential, you're eliminating any potential allergens such as wheat or dairy. Specifically for me, it was the dairy situation. I went as a kid growing up, of course, I had milk, yogurts, but as I kind of got older in my late teens, I started to notice that drinking milk, Greek yogurts, cheese as well, just started to like weigh really heavy on me, and I get so bloated and I get so gassy, and I feel horrible. Even protein powder, even like whey isolated protein powder does not agree well with me, even when it gets rid of most of the lactose. It just doesn't sit well with me, right? And so once I started following this diet, I had amazing digestion. I actually didn't feel bloated anymore. I felt regular all the time. I just felt like an actual human being that was supposed to, like I was supposed to feel, essentially, right? And so sometimes when going on this diet, people will drop several pounds of bloats just by simply avoiding food sensitivities that they didn't even know they had, right? So many people mindlessly just eat food and don't even pay attention to how they feel afterwards. I highly encourage you to start doing that. As soon as you're done eating a donut, write down how you feel after, right? And then after eating an apple, write down how you feel after that, right? And watch the difference in terms of the way you feel, your digestion, all this stuff, right? So the simple act of eating this way is a net positive for your gut health too, which is so underrated, and not many people talk about this, or not enough people talk about this. Now, who is this diet for, right? This is for someone who claims to be a barbarian, which you don't have to be a barbarian in order to follow this diet, but this diet is perfect for anyone starting or even restarting their fitness journey to get back in shape again. This is especially for people who want to get lean, improve their overall health, and want to jumpstart their progress. And so let's touch on the specifics in terms of this diet. Obviously, we touched on like what specifically it entails, right? If it came from the ground, you can eat it. If it had a face or would have grown up to have a face, you can eat it, right? But what does that actually entail? So here's what it entails. Here are the faces. The faces include any type of meat. So this could be bacon, chicken breast, chicken legs, chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, eggs, egg whites, ground beef, doesn't matter what type of cuts, lamb, pork chops, pork loins, salmon, scallops, shrimp, steak, tuna, turkey, and lots more. These are just a couple handful of meats that I thought of, but any type of meats, right? Now, when it comes to the greens, the exact same thing. If it's green and it came from the ground, there, boom, there you go. You can check it off the list. This could include arugula, asparagus, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, celery, cucumber, green beans, green peas, green peppers, kale. Sounds like I'm rapping right now. Kale, lettuce, any variety, okra, snap peas, spinach, zucchini, and fruits. Yeah, I should definitely make a rap song on this diet. That'll be so cool. And now when it comes to portion sizes, this is kind of when things can get a bit more nuanced in terms of what your specific goals are, how big of an eater you are. But a general rule of thumb, protein should be the size of your fist. So this is your fist. This is the size of how much protein you should eat. When it comes to the vegetables, unlimited amounts. Most vegetables, especially these green ones, literally have such little calories, and they're so low calorie, and they're so dense as well, meaning that they fill you up with very little calories. So you can go unlimited on these. Just go based on whenever you feel satisfied. When it comes to fruits, have one serving of fruits 2 times per day. And when it comes to the carbs from the grounds, they should also be about the size of your palm. And now you're probably wondering to yourself, Conan, where are the fats coming from? Most of the fats found in this diet will come from your meats, obviously, right? Especially the fattier type of meat, whether it's like a chicken thigh or chicken leg, eggs, amazing source of fat, ground beef, steak. These are all super awesome for you. Salmon too. Oh my goodness. So most of your fat can actually be found in most of these meats as well. So you don't need any, whether it's like peanut butter or like canola oil, you don't need any of that stuff because you'll get most of your fat intake from the meats as well. And then even like avocados, those are also kind of like a green vegetable, which is also a great source of fat. When it comes to meal frequency, again, depending on how many meals you want to eat, I know some people like doing intermittent fasting, so they like to have maybe fewer meals, or fewer meals in a shorter time span, whereas other people enjoy eating smaller meals more frequently, spaced out evenly throughout the day. Generally, 3 to 4 meals per day, split around 3 to 4 hours apart, is a good kind of place to be at, right? So just breakfast, lunch, dinner, because I myself, I don't want to be eating 5 times a day. It kind of like breaks up my day in terms of like, well, I'm in a zone right now, right? And I don't want to just break up my day by going down into the kitchen and having to eat another meal, and then that kind of like breaking my routine. So I typically like to eat 3 meals per day, but if you want to eat 5 meals a day, that's also totally cool. So here's a general meal plan that is just super general that you could follow. So for breakfast, for example, have some eggs or around 200 or 300 grams of some lean meat, and with unlimited veggies. Meal 2 could be some more eggs with 200 or 300 grams of lean meat with unlimited veggies and a serving of fruit. And at meal 3, last meal of the day, could again be meat or eggs with unlimited fruit and a piece of fruits and veggies. And now the reason why it's not unlimited fruits, you're probably wondering, like, why can I have unlimited veggies but not unlimited fruit? And the reason for that is because most fruit tends to be a bit more calorically dense, especially like bananas, pineapples. They tend to be they have a lot more calories, whereas like berries, for example, those are super low calories and they're also super good for you, right? Your strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. So depending on what type of fruit you eat, obviously their calories may differ. So just be a bit more mindful of that, right? Especially bananas. Like one banana already has 100 calories. So if you have unlimited bananas, I know for myself, if I gave myself that rule, I could literally eat 10 bananas in one sitting and I'd have 1,000 calories already, right? So, yeah, whereas with vegetables, you can eat an entire bowl of salad, and that could only have, let's say, 100 or 200 calories. Now, how long should you be doing this diet for? Is this something sustainable that I should do for the rest of my life? The answer is yes and no. So if you're just brand new to this, if you right now are coming from a background where you're eating just a bunch of junk food all the time, I advise you to follow this diet for at least 2 to 4 weeks, ideally for a month or so. At that point, you should have lost a good amount of weight and also retrained your taste buds to actually enjoy these types of foods a lot more. And now after that initial starting period, then you can start to shift your focus a bit more towards the 80-20 rule. This is what I advise most of my clients to do. So 80% of the time, make sure you're eating whole, natural, single-root foods from the Barbarian diet. And the other 20%, you can definitely indulge in whatever junk or street food you may desire, aka processed foods. But what you'll notice is that you may favor a lot more of these whole foods than the other 20% of the processed foods, right? I find myself in a situation now where, like, if you were to tell me, like, Conan, you can eat whatever you want. Right now, what are you going to eat? I would honestly just go for the whole foods. Like, I'm not really craving any sugary processed foods. I'm not craving any donuts, fries, whatever. Like, right now, I'd be really content just having some eggs with, like, a salad or with some fruit. Like, yes, please, sign me up. So your taste buds will definitely get accustomed to that, which I think is awesome. And the last thing here is you can't screw this up. Doesn't matter what education you have, what background you're coming from, what ethnicity you're at. It doesn't matter. You cannot screw this up. The Barbarian diet is the simplest diet on the planet because it strips away all the BS and returns to the basics, the way it kind of should have been, right? Back in the olden days when, like, most of these food companies did not even exist and you literally had to eat food that literally came from the ground, right? You'd grow your own apple tree. You'd grow your own farm. You'd have your own cows, your own chickens, right? And you would eat foods from your own kind of sources, right? We didn't have all these packaged processed foods. And you look at the physiques of some of these people back in the olden days, right? And you're like, oh my goodness, they literally look like Greek gods, right? They looked jacked, they looked healthy. They were just like amazing people, like in terms of like their health wise, right? And so it's about eating real food that nourishes your body and keeps you healthy. There are no fads or gimmicks, just simple rules that anyone can follow at any time. So if you're tired of complicated diets that make you feel like you need a PhD to figure out what to eat or how often to eat all this stuff, you need to try the Barbarian diet. It's simple, it works, and best of all, it is designed to make you feel lean and healthy. Now, if you need help creating this own lifestyle for yourself where not only you have this diet, but you have your own customized workout program, your own customized cardio routine, and you need that accountability to actually get you going on this, I highly encourage you to book a free consultation call with me down below. We'll go over your goals, we'll go over what you've done in the past, and we'll create a game plan together to help get you to where you want to be. So I'm going to let you guys go. If you have any questions regarding any of this, please let me know, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.